Thought we understood about taking care of our valuables.
Valuable? It was a piece of junk.
Well, if that's how you feel about a gift from your parents, I don't see giving you a new one for your birthday.
I don't want a new bike. I want my own room.
I'm warning you, you're on thin ice as it is about the bike.
You know what I want? What I want is my own house. My rules. My money.
That's it, young man. Until further notice, you're grounded.
This kid's talking a pretty big game for wanting this, that, and the other thing with having $0 to his name, Drew.
He had 6 tokens, I believe, too.
Did he have a token left over from the amusement park?
He spent so terribly. He mismanaged the tokens so that he probably had one left over because the minimum use is 3.
You can't save those, Drew.
You can't.
Yeah.
No.
You can't take them with you. It's like go play skee ball or something.
He'll have to try to trade it if he knows some really good accounting skills. So if you forgot who we are, this is The Last Row, the podcast.
Yeah, we're still here.
The podcast. We're still around. We're still here, still living. Badway's still alive. I'm alive, surprisingly. I'm
Barely.
sure people thought we were off the face of the earth. We've got some back problems over here, just taking care of life. It's been a little hectic.
Stop making excuses for us, Drew.
But we're still here.
Bad
We're
podcast
still going. We're bad. We're bad posts. But we're here. We're going to be more consistent now. Our website's thelastrowpodcast.com if you forgot what that looked like.
Don't make don't make promises you can't keep, Drew.
At the Last Row Pod on Twitter. We get a lot of Twitter action. We've got some great people writing to us on Twitter. Facebook.com/thelastrowpod. Google+. iTunes, we got another revised iTunes review. I don't think it's a new one, but we got a revised one. I'll read it later.
Okay.
And we're also on Google+, Google Play. Subscribe on iTunes. Leave us a review if you haven't had the chance to. Thank you to everybody that's done so far. Badway, it's good to be back in Last Row Studios.
Ah, yes.
Even though we're here every Monday for Bauer Hour. Shameless plug for our other podcast that we do with our friend Ty, Bauer Hour, if you're into 24. That's taking a lot of our time these days, so we're trying to do both. So apologies for the weird schedule these days, but we're back.
Anyway, episode 57. Let's get down to business, Drew.
I'm writing you a check, Badway.
A blank check.
I'm signing it, but I'm not putting an amount.
Don't put the amount in.
It's up to you.
It's priceless.
You choose how much you want to take from my account.
What did you think of this movie growing up? Because obviously everyone's listening to this show with like fond memories of blank check from the childhood. What was your experience growing up with this movie? How did you come across it?
I have very fond memories of this. I remember we talked about a little known rental shop called West Coast Video from the town that we came up in. My dad rented this one day after work. I vividly remember watching this with my brother. I watched it multiple times. I really, really like this movie. I'll leave it to you to tell me how well you thought it held up. I'll answer that after. But I have very fond and vivid memories of this and the mansion that the kid lives in, the go-kart track, all the stuff he buys. Like, I love this movie growing up.
I just want to go back to your dad being in West Coast Video. Like, did you tell him to get this movie?
No,
or does he just come home with these movies?
He picked it out.
He's like, oh, it's my little one Drew here. He'll really love this movie about this boy who learns a lesson about money.
No, I don't think that was his intention.
Do you think it was his intention to teach you about money?
No.
Was it?
I don't think that was his intention.
Not like Preston's dad?
No. My dad he nailed the movie rentals growing up.
Was he a good picker?
He was very sporadic with when he would come home with a movie because obviously I was too young to go rent it myself, but he would rent some really good movies. And then we got into the action movie kick, which is part of why our show always does those. But I remember watching this because he rented it and I thought he nailed it. It was a great...
Did he watch the movies with you or did he just...
No, he watched it with us.
Here you go, sit down and shut up for 2 hours. Watch this movie.
He watched it with us. It was like it was like a fun event, right?
Family Friday.
It wasn't like, let's get together
and
and play board games or anything, but it was like, let's watch this movie together. So it was fun. It was good. What's yours?
I remember exactly where I was when I watched this movie. And I'm pretty sure I watched it just one time when I was a kid, but it stayed with me that whole time.
It lingered?
Yeah. I was at my cousin's house, my cousin Bill. We were in his bedroom.
Bill
and
Badway?
we had 2 movies. It was Blank Check and it was Blue Chips, the Shaquille O'Neal movie.
I never
Nick
saw
Nolte.
that.
And that's not a kid's movie, but we were basketball fans. We were huge basketball fans.
Well, you got to watch it.
Yeah,
then.
and Shaq was my favorite player, so we watched that. I wouldn't say it's not for kids, but it's not for kids.
Because of violence or nudity?
There might have been a boob in there. I don't even know. I think it was rated PG-13.
Was it just one boob or was it both?
I think there was a stripper. I might be confusing that with He Got Game, actually. So I don't know if there was a boob in there.
I'll just pretend that there was,
I don't know.
There probably was.
Anyway, we had those 2 movies. We watched them both. And Blank Check, obviously, we loved. looking back on it, I felt like there was more time in the mansion than there was.
Yes, I agree with that.
You know, as a kid, I was thinking like, oh man, like the movie's like he was in the mansion having a good time.
I totally
really
agree
that
with
was
that.
just a montage, right?
Yes.
But watching this movie now, today, it was better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be hard to watch.
I 100,000% agree with you.
I thought it was going to be a shit fest, and I thought I was going to have to like stay awake, but it actually held my attention.
It's hard these days.
Did you feel the same way?
No, because the whole time I was getting ready to watch this, right, we put it out on the interwebs, on our website and everywhere, and people were really excited that we were going to do this one because it's a 90s movie, and we do a lot of 90s movies. But reading reviews and stuff, kind of new reviews, I thought that this movie was going to suck so bad and it wasn't going to hold up because I haven't seen it in a long time. And you can watch it on Hulu for free if you have Hulu right now.
Yes.
And that's how we watched it.
Yes.
It was so much better than I thought it was going to be going back into it. I thought it was going to be hard to watch and it wasn't.
So I pulled these reviews from Flickster, which is an app based off of Rotten Tomatoes.
What website?
So
Excuse me?
We're back in Rotten Tomatoes,
Excuse
by the
me?
way. We're going back.
We're back in?
We're back in.
Because they closed down the IMDb message boards.
It's because A, they closed down the IMDb message boards, and B, you bring up Rotten Tomatoes every single goddamn episode that I'm sick of correcting you on it. So we're just back, all right? We're back.
It's off the blacklist.
Yeah, we're off the backlist, but don't quote the freaking percentages,
Okay.
please.
I won't do that. I'll name something else.
Yeah. So here are some reviews. So they may not have been so kind as we are to current viewings.
And these
right?
are all recent reviews?
I guess I don't. They didn't have years to them. So we'll go with the first one. This is from Lucas Martins. He writes, "If you loved Home Alone, you're still gonna hate Blank Check."
That's ridiculous.
That's a good twist.
I
That
didn't
review
see
had a
that
good
coming.
twist to it. A Shyamalanian twist.
I didn't.
1.5 stars.
What? So he didn't hate it that much to give it 0 star. What's the minimum? Is it minimum? Is it 0?
I think 4 is the max. 0 is the minimum.
So you can give it 0 on there.
Yeah.
All right.
No stars you could give.
All right, Lucas.
1.5 stars. Kim Hong writes, douche family, stupid villains, lame jokes, worst movie ever.
All right,
Half
Kim.
star.
All right. Yes, I agree with the douche family for the most part.
Yeah,
And
he's
yes,
kind of,
the villains are kind of stupid.
he made some valid statements, Drew.
The jokes are not that lame, and it is certainly not
Yeah, they're kind of lame.
the worst movie ever.
Look, the movie's lame. Don't get me wrong.
but it's good.
But it's like, I don't know. There's a
It's good
charm to
lame.
it. There's a charm to it. Juan Chacarino, I'm butchering that name.
You're just-
A Home Alone alikeness, sick, that has gone so terribly wrong that its humor is pathetic. F. Half star.
so wait, F should be 0 star.
A half star is an F, Drew.
Yeah, but that's like a D minus.
No, it's an F.
D minus.
You don't get a full star, it's an F.
0 is F.
You don't-
to me.
you don't pass.
You failed. You still got something.
Justin Katsopoulos,
No relation.
no relation.
We needed to say it.
It's been too long since I've seen this for me to give a legitimate comment. 3 stars.
Wait, so you get. I'm shaking my head here. So he can't comment on whether it's good or not, but he's going to say it's 3 out of 4 or 5.
Look, he's not committed enough to write a review. He doesn't have time to watch the movie, but he's going to give it 3 stars. He's going to give it the benefit of the doubt.
All right.
3 stars.
Okay, Jesse Katsopoulos.
And finally, Skylar Bartels says, it's a comedy. 1.5 stars. That's it.
That's
Just
it?
It's a comedy.
I mean, that is factually
It's
correct.
factually correct. It is a comedy.
It is a comedy.
/ crime / family film. Blank Check, 1994, directed by the inept Rupert Wainwright. Inept? Drew, you got to edit this thing.
No.
Man. It's not.
Steven Seagal Ghost wrote this movie. He was unhappy with the directing job of this.
We did that Seagal movie like a month ago. You gotta edit this.
I'm just gonna
keep reading it. I'm like
Yes.
what's his name? I'm like Ron Burgundy. I'll read what's on the teleprompter.
I'm Ron Berg. I'm going to keep putting that in there, but I'm not going to put it all the time. I'm going to see if you see it.
I am Ron Burgundy. I will read what's on the teleprompter. IMDb 5.2 out of 10. 12-year-old.
Can I put the Rotten Tomatoes score on here again?
No.
We're not?
Absolutely not.
What if I take the percentage off and just say out of 100?
Yeah, if that's like I'll think it's a score if you want to trick me.
Like
that's fine.
97
I thought,
out of 100.
I thought I could trust you.
All right.
12-year-old Preston Waters is tired of his pain in the butt brothers and stingy parents. One day, a rich...
I'm sorry. You got me with that.
I don't know what you're talking about, Drew. A rich but convicted.
But convicted?
He's butt convicted.
Oh, we're going.
Launderer. No, he wrote it weird. He wrote it weird.
It's been a while, people.
No, this is an IMDb plot synopsis, is it not?
It's
That's
been a
why.
while.
This is an amateur writing this, so I can't read it.
It's been a while.
Launderer by the name of Quigley.
Terrible name.
We'll get to Quigley later. Nearly kills him in a parking lot and gives him, by mistake, a blank check.
I don't think that was a mistake. I think it was on purpose, and I don't think he nearly killed him. But we'll talk about that.
He nearly killed him, Drew. So Preston boots up his computer, makes out the check for $1 million cash money, comes up with the pseudonym of Macintosh, and starts to spend it. But Quigley wants his money back. It was supposed to be cashed by another man with a blank check and had too much information. I'm not reading all of it.
You need to keep reading it. Just keep going.
Skip to the end. Can Preston keep up the facade? Will Quigley and his goons get their money back? And will Preston learn how valuable money really is?
This reminds me of that, like when they have all these questions on the end.
Yeah.
Like there's this really funny show that I watch on History Channel sometimes. It's called The Curse of Oak Island.
Oh, yeah.
And the narrator is amazing. He's like, a 17th century Spanish gold coin on Oak Island? Could it be?
Could it be?
Could it be a blank check?
Will they find it?
That's what it reminds me of.
That was written by Newton Hates. And
Heights?
Just hopefully that was his last, because that was terrible.
Look, it's far from the worst that we've got.
And maybe, hopefully, our 10 listeners are probably down to 6 because they probably quit. It's been 10 minutes. We haven't even gotten there yet.
We're talking about other movies. So I don't know.
So let's do this. Preston, main character. What do we know about him?
He's terrible with his money.
Bad with his money.
He's got no money.
Foreshadowing future events in the beginning.
He hates his parents, wants his brothers to die. I'm pretty sure that was on his to-do list.
Yeah, he did knock off his brothers is number 1 on his to-do birthday list.
And when I hear knock off,
yeah,
I'm thinking like, he's going to hire a hitman when he gets $1 million.
Do you think like he meant in the movie like knock off as in like take them off their pedestal?
No, I think he meant kill them.
Do you really think he literally meant kill them?
Yes.
You didn't think it was just poorly worded by the writers?
I think he meant that he wanted to knock them off.
Murder them.
Yes.
What is that called? It's not like
murder for hire.
Regicide is when you like there's is when you kill the queen, and like parenticide. That's not a real thing.
I don't Brother side?
Brother side, sibling side. There's a word for it. I don't know it.
It's called murder?
We're not drunk. I promise you. We're stone cold sober, by the way, people.
Yeah, we haven't done this in a while. It's called murder, I think.
Murder side?
Broken side.
The broken side.
That's what it's called. No, but he doesn't know what he wants to do. He wants his brothers to die. He definitely he's pissed at his parents because they're just riding his ass about how he needs to get a job. This kid's like 7 years old. How's he going to get a job?
First of all, he's 12. That's 7.
He looks like he's 7.
He could make some money. His brothers are very successful.
Hand and foot. What the hell is that about?
Hand and foot. So the brothers have this business.
Sounds like a massage joint.
Hand and foot. See, if you had a keen eye, you would see their T-shirt. The back of their T-shirt says they do odd jobs. They do odd jobs.
I'll bet they're odd.
All day, all jobs.
All kinds of hand and foot jobs.
So the parents take Preston's part of Preston. Really?
There's lots of them.
Anyway, Preston's dad takes part of Preston's room away to use for the brother's office. And this just pisses Preston off. This is like the last straw.
What do they need?
We gotta put the computer in there, the Macintosh.
Can't you put it on a dining room table?
So Preston's like, why are they getting all this? Why are they getting all this room? Why are you taking my space away? And the dad's like, well, they're entrepreneurs. They're working hard. They deserve it. And I don't know if I kind of agree with his dad there. How much do you want to bet that the brothers tried to cut Preston in on the deal? Now, I know they're always like putting him down because they're a lot older than him. He could be working for their company. He could be their like kind of like bitch boy slave working for minimum wage type thing, stiffing him on the bill, cheating him on the paycheck, but still on the payroll.
Like making him do the crappy jobs?
The crappy jobs. And he probably declined. And the dad's probably sees that and says, this kid is not motivated.
Here's what I think. I think those brothers are a bunch of jerks.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of jokers.
Are they twins? They look like twins.
They look like Tweedledee and Tweedledum, if I'm going to be honest.
What do they call the twins when they're not...
fraternal twins?
When they don't look alike?
Yeah, non-identical.
Non-identical.
Twins.
What are the twins called when they don't look alike? They're not identical.
Fraternal.
They're called non-identical.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. So these guys are idiots, and they clearly don't give a crap about this kid. And maybe he's annoying, maybe he's whiny. He kind of is, and that's what we see. But I'll tell you this. There's no way in hell they were ever going to let him be part of that business because he's the little baby bro.
There's some gutters to clean that they don't want to do, that they would send him up there to do.
They're not going to pay him for sure. And maybe they try to do it and he quit because he's like,
that's what I'm
BS.
saying. That's why the dad is giving him shit about money.
Yeah, but if he's getting $0 for working, screw that dad and screw these kids.
And that's why they get part of his. I think I'm on the dad's side here.
I'm not.
I think this kid's lazy. I think he's entitled. I think that he thinks the world is owed to him.
I don't think that is accurate, but
honestly.
No, but why do you say that? Because here's my thought. The kid wasn't asking for money. He was trying to do stuff. He would have gotten stuff, but the kid's going to a birthday party. Who the hell knows he didn't even want to go to that birthday party. The kid was a jerk. That redhead kid.
So it seems like Preston doesn't have a lot of friends or any friends at all, really.
Agreed.
Now, I do fault the parents on this. They send the kid over there with $7, right? Was it $7?
I think it was $7. Most people were sending with 20s.
Yeah.
And they were getting like at least 20 tokens.
Yeah, so the kid doesn't have any tokens. Everyone has tokens to ride all these rides, and Preston's got to he's got to sit it out because he can't. The one roller coaster to go on is more than he has.
Like 10 tokens.
And he doesn't have a friend to say, hey, could you lend me a token? Like, those tokens are like gold, first of all. It's going to be hard because you have to be a good friend to give away those tokens.
Right.
Away. And he doesn't have one of those. So it's like, the parents got to give him a 20, right? Like, what's it going to hurt them?
That's what I'm saying. Like, and if you watch with the brothers were going out at one point, and the dad's like, hey, do you need any cash?
Yeah.
It's like, come on. Like, they're clearly working for it. This kid is too young to have a job. Like, he may not legally be able to work.
And this dad is kind of a shyster too. Let's
He
not
is.
be
IRS.
Let's not be sure. Yeah,
Irwin R.
Let's not be so sure when he offers those kids, do you need any cash? That he's expecting it to be a loan.
That's what
to be paid back because they're good for it because they own a business.
Yeah, they're good for it.
Yeah.
No, they're good for it. Yeah, right. Now, let me tell you this though. Like, I don't get what this dad's deal is because he could teach him the value of money by giving him an allowance, give him $1 a week, make him save it. That's not going to hurt this guy.
I'm pretty sure this kid's lazy. He's not taking the garbage out. He's not cleaning the dog.
We don't know
He's not
that.
cutting the grass. The kid, the handed foot has the market quartered on cutting the grass and taking the trash out. You know they're doing all the chores.
Oh yeah,
and doing it quickly.
No, I don't even know what the hell they do. So I speculated on it.
Maybe
earlier.
there's no opportunities. Maybe there's like a thing. It's like Preston has no opportunities to make money because handed foot is all over the place.
I also feel that the mom would like to give him money, but she doesn't want to stand up to the dad because the dad was being so mean about it. And he wasn't teaching the kid any more money. He wasn't teaching him anything about money. He was just making the kid resent them. He wasn't teaching him the right lesson.
Yeah,
that's not what I'm going to do to my kid.
The mom was kind of in the background, right?
Yeah.
She didn't have any say. But I will say this: after all this, the kid doesn't have any money, gets yelled at, constantly berated by his father for not valuing $1, this, that, and the other thing. But he lost part of his room. But he did get a computer in his room. That's pretty sweet.
What's a computer without the internet, though?
Yeah, well,
he was processing words.
There's probably a golf game on there, Chips Challenge.
No,
Minesweeper.
Dad's not buying that stuff. He wants them to do business. He's going to buy them Microsoft Office or
I'll tell you what,
Notes.
though, when they do get internet in 3 years, kid's got a computer in his room.
Yeah, right.
Does he have a door locked? Does he have a lock on that door? He's gonna be thanking Dad.
Yeah, it'll take an hour to load a page.
Say no more.
So the parallel story that goes along with this is you see this dude walking in a trench or something, walking in a trench with an orange jumpsuit on and a broken off handcuff.
It's the fugitive himself, Tommy Lee Jones, coming after him. Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Only not as good.
I kind of want to see this movie about how this guy escaped from jail.
Quigley.
First off, it's speculated that he went to jail for money laundering.
Yeah.
Maybe there was something else.
White collar crimes abound for Quigley.
How did he escape from jail? Based on the clues, he's got the jumpsuit, he's got the handcuff. How did he get out of there?
I'm thinking it's just like The Fugitive, where it's there's a transport situation, bus accident. Maybe he caused it. Maybe Juice helped. I think Juice helped.
Toad
Loke, Funky Cole Medina
Toad Loke
himself.
is awesome.
I'm pretty sure Juice set up some kind of bus accident. That's the only way, because why else would he have cuffs on, right?
Is Juice his partner or the muscle?
It's his muscle. I'm pretty sure it's his hired goon. I don't think there's any loyalty there. If there's no money, there's no friendship, which is a lesson that Preston learns later in the movie. It all comes together.
When we get into this, we'll maybe discuss how diabolical this guy actually is. But off the top of your head and off of what you've seen so far, where does this guy rank in the villain scale? Is he, well, let's talk about some of his qualities.
All right.
He went to jail for money laundering.
White collar.
Maybe he did some murdering. Maybe he regicide or parenticide, whatever.
I'm going to get that word. There's a word for killing your parents and brothers. There's a word for it.
So I want to know what else this guy did, because on the surface, this guy's a pretty weak villain. Now, I know it's a Disney movie, so they can't get too diabolical with this guy, but he's trying to launder money. He goes to this warehouse, finds a briefcase where he left $1 million.
Yes.
A cold, hard $1 million in this case, gets it out, and he takes it to the banker, the fat banker. I don't remember the guy's name. And he's like, I need you to get back in the game. I need you to launder this money for me.
Matricide.
Kill
your parents.
I thought that
matricide and patricide.
What's patricide?
Your father and mother. Patricide father, matricide mother.
Oh, I thought matricide would be your wife, because matrimony.
Anyway, sorry, it was bugging me. I had to get it out.
You had to look it up. So he goes and gets this money laundered from this dude, and he says, I'll be back here tomorrow. I'm going to send somebody to get this money. Guy's going to come with a check. He gives him the checkbook. Going to come cash this thing in, give me the money. I need it by tomorrow. He threatens the guy's family too. So, little bit diabolical. Little bit.
He wouldn't commit fratricide, which is killing your brother.
What's sister? Sistercide? I don't know what that is.
It's simply fratricide.
All right.
Anyway, this guy is not a killer at all. I mean, he does kind of almost kill the kid multiple times while we're trying to track him down. But in all seriousness, the kid stole $1 million from him. What would you do in that situation?
I mean, I'd probably get in my car and drive around a park, chasing him around.
It's a crime of passion, really. It's like, how dare you steal my $1 million?
Patricide.
Right? It's patricide.
That's what it is.
It's murder in the third degree? Third degree murder?
No, third degree is...
Is third degree worse?
No,
Better?
I think first degree is worse.
Third degree murder. It's manslaughter.
Yeah.
It's manslaughter. It's not manslaughter.
He meant to do it.
Yeah.
He meant to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, get a good lawyer.
This guy did not commit any murders. He's not a violent criminal. He probably got taken advantage of in prison with the name Quigley.
I was just going to say, with a name like Quigley, he's not very menacing.
White collar. The prison he was at was probably very low security. Minimum security prison. That's why he got away. They weren't paying that close attention to him, right? And this guy's a really weak villain. If we're going on the villain scale, the guy's almost in the negatives, man.
Well, look, he wears a double-breasted suit, walking around flaunting this money that he doesn't even really have yet. He's driving this very expensive Jag. He's walking around just in broad daylight. He tries to hide from the cops in broad daylight.
It's like Dominic Toretto, man. He's just hanging out with the garage door wide open, working on cars as he's a fugitive, man.
This guy is weak. So in the process of him trying to get this money, he hits the bike, like you mentioned, and he gives Preston a blank check.
Ooh.
Now, my question to you is, did he expect him to cash that check? He's like, I don't care, name any figure you want. Or did he give it to him because he knew that it was a special checkbook and it was going to bounce?
Yeah, there wasn't a real account, I believe. I believe the banker, his banker buddy, gave him that checkbook specifically to, as the signal for your guy's going to come in with this check, with this account number on it. I'm going to burn it, and I'm going to wink, and I'm going to give him the sack of cash. It's not a real account. By the way, double-breasted suit you brought up. How is that ever a good idea? Is that coming back?
It is coming back.
But why?
Because and that's the thing, with that kind of suit, you got to leave it buttoned. Because if you see somebody walking around with that unbuttoned, it's the biggest freaking
just
flap
flapping
ever.
in the wind, right?
You can't wear a double-breasted suit unbuttoned. It must be flapped at all times.
We got a wedding coming up next month.
You going double-breasted?
One of our friends, Paul, is getting married. I should go double-breasted.
You going double-breasted?
I should go buy one.
You're going to look like a Zach Morris there. You're going to roll the sleeves up too?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to roll the sleeves
go
up?
no tie.
Miami Vice?
No tie. Miami Vice style.
White pants?
Yeah.
White. I mean, it's April, so...
Am I allowed to wear white? Because the bride's wearing white.
Yeah, you could.
Can a man wear white?
No, you're not allowed.
Am I allowed?
You can't. That's a violation.
Yeah? All right.
That's definitely a violation. Yeah. So, anyway, back to the movie. He gives him this check. I have you in my head wearing a white suit.
Can I just say that I'm having a lot of fun with this episode. Lots of fun.
It is. It's been a while. Doesn't it feel good to be back in the saddle?
It does feel good.
It feels good.
Yeah.
So back to the movie. He gives him this check. The kid has the wherewithal to say, I wish I had $1 million. He writes it on the check. He uses his computing skills.
Very good
to literally type it onto the check.
I never would have been able to do that.
What if he wrote more than $1 million?
Then it would have bounced. but not literally. His cover would have been blown.
It would have been blown.
Yeah.
Because I said, what if there was more than $1 million in the check? And I was thinking this as it happened because it's been a while, and I forgot that he didn't actually cash the check. He just gave it to the person, and they took him in the back. But smart for him, especially smart for him to know how to use the computer.
Oh yeah, I never would have been able to do that. And I thought it was really well done by the writers to like the way the kid got the money was completely plausible, you know?
Yeah.
Like with the whole criminal laundering in the background. He takes the check up to the teller. Obviously, the teller's like, this is bullshit. I'm going to send you to the bank manager.
That lady was so mean.
Yeah, little does she know the bank manager is a fraud himself. And the guy's like, oh, at the time, he was right on time for when he was told the guy was coming to cash his check. Unassuming kid shows up with the check. It's like, who's gonna think the kid has $1 million in his backpack? The guy's like, all right, I guess this is who they sent. And he gave him the money. Like it's totally plausible.
Is that banker related to the actor that plays Newman? You know, because he reminded me a lot of Jurassic Park when the guy stole the eggs and he was like bumbling through. Like he just seemed like his brother.
I'll tell you what, it's coincidentally you say that. It reminded me of like the scientist from Richie Rich.
Yes.
Who was the same guy.
Same
it's
guy.
Newman. It's Newman. Actually, no, it's not. It's not the same guy. They're all three of those guys are brothers.
They're all brothers. No, relation. Definite relation. So he gets this money, and then like 5 minutes later, Juice walks in, and they even see each other in the. First off, Juice is a great name for a muscle.
That's a good name. See, they made it up for Quigley with Juice.
Quigley, so. I guess it evokes the white collar crime of like some type of banking fraud or something. Yeah. Definitely not menacing though.
No, it's just wrong. It just sounds too like British. And like, no, there's anything wrong with that, but the guy wasn't British himself.
Yeah, I mean,
and don't you know Quigley as like that stupid white dog?
I don't know who that is.
It's like a kid's show.
Really?
It's like a kid's movie.
Mr. Quigley?
It's like, oh, it's Quigley. It's like a little poodle.
I don't know
it's
what
like
that
he gets
is.
into misadventures. I don't know. It's a kid's thing. That's what I think of when I hear Quigley.
You know, I want to talk a little bit about this mix-up because Juice comes in and he kind of threatens this banker, but the kid goes home. And if you're a kid, how old's this kid? 11? What did we say?
11, 12.
Call him 11 for the sake of, because he looks young.
The birthday bash at the end, I think they call him 12.
Okay, so he was turning 12.
Or I counted 12 candles on the cake.
Okay, he turned 12.
Turned 12.
If you're a kid and you get $1 million, conveniently fit inside of his backpack, he's walking down the street. What are you going to do with that when you get home?
Me?
Yeah.
Or him?
What are you as him going to do?
If I had $1 million, I would... And I was 12, shoot, probably just start buying baseball cards. I don't know.
He throws it all over the bed and starts swimming in it.
That's the smart thing to do.
He Scrooge McDucks it.
Yeah.
Now, did he lose any in the process?
How much would I bet there's like 10 grand under his bed?
Because this is what I want to do here. We're going to start tallying these purchases, Badway.
Oh.
Let's start to see. So assume he lost 10 grand just in that whole, the adventure of swimming in the money.
Yes.
Maybe someone in the air conditioning duct. Maybe his brother found some. But I'm going to assume he misplaced about
money, man.
10
Seed
grand.
Money.
Yeah. He lost a stack.
Yeah.
He lost a stack
Plenty
under
of
the
stacks
bed.
to have lost.
And now we need to define what a stack is.
What's a
here.
stack, Drew?
Because I kind of look at a stack as like 5,000 maybe 10.
I think if it's $100
10
bills,
Gs?
a stack of hundreds is 10 G's.
10 G's? All right.
And a stack of 20s might be 5. I could be way off on that. But
I mean, it depends on how they're wrapping.
But if you're making stacks, it doesn't matter because stacks on stacks on stacks.
I'm assuming that his stacks are worth 10 G's.
Yeah.
And accounting for inflation. So I did the calculations, by the way. I'm taking this seriously today. I went back and in 1994, he got $1 million.
Yeah.
Can you guess how much that's worth today?
$1 million today?
Yes. Account for inflation.
Oh,
so if they made blank check in 2017, which I'm surprised they haven't done yet.
$1.5 million?
$1.65 million.
All right.
So you have like $650,000 in inflation. So
Nice.
Big difference here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Big difference. But he immediately goes to work. What does he start doing?
Well, the second he gets home, he sees the castle for sale. He's like, you know what? I need a house. It's one of my goals. He's got goals. And one of his goals happens to be get my own house.
It's like down the street.
Yeah. So he does the first ever online auction for a house. It happens right here in Blank Check.
Calls in.
Yeah. He calls in, uses a robotic voice, gives the pseudonym Macintosh, looks at his computer. Oh, it's Mr. Macintosh. And he's bidding with the very same Quigley that we meet earlier. He's bidding for this castle with this old couple who looks like they're just trying to get rid of this thing.
It didn't look like that bad.
Is it a murder house? Is there a ghost in the house? Like, why are they trying to get rid of this house?
It must be murder. Because what did you say? The value of it was what, 220?
Well, there was a screenshot, and it is the list price is $220.
Yeah, and Quigley's lowballing these people. Like, he's giving them like $130,000.
That's just unacceptable.
That's insulting.
Yeah.
If you're selling your house and someone's offering you like $100,000 below value, like what the hell's that about?
I think there's a ghost in that house, Drew. It's the only explanation why they're trying to get rid of it.
Maybe there was regicide or matricide in
probably
there.
fraternicide,
fraternicide, whatever it is.
There definitely was regicide. It is a castle.
Somebody died.
One of the Arthurs died in there.
Someone died.
In the suburbs of Indiana.
That's where this is too, right? It's in Indianapolis.
It's in Indiana.
It did. I couldn't place it. I was like, everything's usually in a suburb of Chicago when it looks like a suburb neighborhood.
It's a good call. But
what do you think about?
You got to find the license plate.
So how much would you pay for this house?
Oh, it looks like a good 200K house.
Account for inflation, right? So assume that $1 million becomes 1.65 here.
Yeah.
Go back then. How much are you willing to pay?
Oh, I mean, if I only had $1.6 million, like I would not be spending almost half of my money on this house.
You could just buy the neighbor's house instead.
Yeah, buy a regular house. But no, that's again, this is the same kid who had 7 tokens and spent 5 of it going on the kiddie ride and the carousel.
We didn't even really talk about that.
Yeah, so the kid's bad with money. Yeah. So he's like, he's still out of breath from running home from getting the money. He's already spending $300,000 on this house.
If I was that kid, and not to jump back to the beginning, he should have traded the tokens for something instead of using it to go on like a horsey wheel or whatever the heck it was.
Well, he did buy cotton candy. That's like the one best purchase he did.
And then he stood in the water and got smushed.
Ruined it. But so the kid shows bad judgment. But again, we digress. So long story short, he gets the house for what, like $300K?
Plus closing costs.
Probably $100,000 over list value when it's all said and done. So what do you do when you have the house, right?
Gotta fill it, man.
You gotta fill it, man. So he creates this Macintosh empire, Mr. Macintosh, and he fills it with, I don't know, so many different brands. And what does he have? Coca-Cola, Nabisco,
Chips Ahoy.
He's got TVs. What's he got?
I took a list, right? We took a tally as we went through this, and we found out that it's actually a screenshot at the end. We'll post that on their website and on Twitter, whatever. So he paid $300,000 plus closing costs for the house. He paid immediately $1,000 at least, maybe a full stack to this limo driver.
Oh, he gave the limo driver a stack.
It was definitely 10 G's then. If we're saying stack is 10K, definitely. Then he went on a clothes shopping spree with the limo driver, at least $1,000, I think we saw, right? Then he buys a tub of ice cream, a couple TVs, a super soaker. He buys sports equipment. Chips Ahoy truck is at the place. A Coke truck is at the place. He buys a poolside custom installed with a hole in his office. He rents a crane to do that. He buys a security system. He buys a PA system. He buys a go-kart and go-kart tracks, multiple go-karts. Boxing ring with boxing gloves and oversized boxing jacket. Bungee cord something. Punch-out arcade game. Velcro jumper. The limo driver 24 hours a day for however many days. We'll get into that in a second.
On-call limo driver.
Office equipment. Bunch of, I think we counted 34 TVs in an array. Back before you actually had a big screen, it was like a bunch of TVs.
Oh, yeah, it was like all blocked together.
It's like max headroom, 20, at least 20 to 30-inch TVs.
See if people got the max headroom reference. I don't know. Let's go deep.
He got the tailored suits. He has a sumo kit. I'm getting tired talking over here. He's got a bowling ball with a body bowling set.
Human bowling ball with the Atmosphere American Gladiator ball.
Yeah, Wild and Crazy Kids.
So good.
So here, I don't know if you can hear this, but I'm flipping my page.
Okay.
Flipping my page. Then he eventually goes on an expensive dinner, buys jewelry, buys batting cages, pays $10,000 for a security deposit for a party planner, and then he loses at least another stack in the park.
Loses a stack in the park, getting chased by Quigley.
And he owes $100,000 for some party
that he can't pay for.
That's enough. So I know I went through that very quickly. Let's talk about this.
So yeah, I mean, like not to mention the montage of clothes shopping he went through, right? where everyone's wearing sunglasses indoors for some reason.
Yeah, it's like a 90s thing, I guess, but
It looks like Beverly Hills, but they're definitely not in Beverly
they're
Hills.
in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
That mall looked actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it did. But I mean, I don't know if those kinds of shops exist in the middle of America. This seems like Beverly Hills type stuff, New York type stuff.
So I want to ask you, because you talked about the Macintosh empire.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about this limo driver. He picks up this kid. Kid gives him a stack and says, all right, I go wherever, right? So they go on this shopping spree, buy all the stuff that we talked about. At what point do you think this guy's thinking, what the hell's going on with this?
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
He's basically babysitting this kid, right?
This is really weird. And that's the word I'm going to use.
He doesn't ask questions. He doesn't ask for his employer, anything like that. He's basically babysitting this kid. And, like, he didn't sign up for this, and he just goes along with it.
There's two angles to this, right? There's a limo driver and everyone that he interacts with, and then there's his family.
Yeah.
Don't lose the family thread because we're going to come back to that. But he says, I'm working for Mr. Macintosh. He kind of wants me to live through the childhood that he never had, or his he didn't have any kids, so I'm kind of like his kid.
Yeah.
If you're the limo driver, do you have an obligation to call the police?
You just got a stack, though.
I mean,
He might have to give that stack back.
does
if
that,
he does it.
that shut you up?
Yeah.
Because I'm serious. Like, I may feel an obligation to call the police
Yeah.
to
I don't
look
know.
into this.
Well, like, how much does a limo cost? Right.
I don't know. Can you?
I
Like,
gotta
how
look it
long
up.
did he have him? So he had him for at least, I think they said he spent the money in 6 days? Assume at least 2 full days of limo driving, like at least 2 full ones, maybe a couple of hours on the side. I think he left to get ice cream at one point. Like, look it up. See if we can rent a limo because I want to know what it costs.
All right. I'm looking. I found it. So you could rent a stretch Hummer for $125 to $300 an hour
An
plus
hour?
gratuity. That's a Hummer.
Yeah,
And this
I
is
don't know.
today's prices. So a stretched SUV. You want SUV?
Yeah, some type of SUV. I don't know,
$125 to $200 an hour.
$200 an hour.
Looks like the regular limo, $100 to $175. So let's go the low and let's say it's $100 an hour, right?
All
Back in 1994, what was this? Whatever this movie was
So
made.
how many hours? I have the calculator up.
So the guy's not there all day. Let's call
what's
it
a shift? 8
let's call it
hours?
16 hours.
Just 16
It's
total.
summer. The kid's out of the door after breakfast.
Yeah, but that shopping trip alone could have been like 5 hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
all
No,
right.
$16 hours per day.
Oh, per day. Okay, yeah,
per day
Okay. So then 6 days.
times 6 days.
So that's 96 hours times how much? Did you say?
96 times. We'll call it $100 an hour
Yeah, I mean,
plus
this is
tip.
this is 10 G's right there.
That's 10,000.
It's 9,600
Okay.
because you're doing 16 times 6,700, and then you're going to add a tip. What do you say, like 30% for a limo? I don't even know what it
You got to
costs.
tip the limo driver or something.
I mean,
Good.
he's doing that, so
Yeah.
multiply that times. Yeah, you're looking at like almost $15,000 when you start.
So he
adding
owes him
this
more
up.
than the stack that he gave.
Yeah.
him.
Plus that, I don't know. I think it's more expensive than this.
Yeah.
I think 15K is undershooting it. Actually,
Yeah. We'll call it 20.
I'm serious. If I'm this guy, I'm calling the cops because
Call
I
the
don't know
cops.
what's going on. This kid's giving me all this money. He's hanging out with some mysterious guy named Mr. Macintosh.
Yeah.
This is an 11-year-old boy.
There is precedence. If you remember Home Alone 2, Lost in New York,
Yeah.
which we did an episode on. It's very good, by the way. One of our early
Just
ones.
not to toot our own
Shameless
horn.
plug. Kevin Costner got all over New York by just simply stating, "Oh yeah, I'm with my dad. Here's his credit card." He got a limo driver. He got a pizza at the limo. He got to the toy store. He rented a room at the Trump Plaza.
Yeah.
You know, all under the guise of "I'm with my dad. Here's his credit card," without any supervision.
But when you're with your dad, that's one thing. But when you're with a mysterious man named Mr. Macintosh,
Yeah.
who's your quote, air quote, employer,
Employer, Mr. Macintosh.
That's
I guess
weird.
it's a little different.
if you're with your dad, he should have said it was his dad. That'd be more believable.
But I mean, he is getting dropped off at home, not in the castle, but in his actual house where he lives every day. So that kind of makes it better.
Yeah, but he's getting dropped off his house, so then brings back to the parents, right? We left that thread dangling out there.
Yeah.
If you're the parents, shouldn't you be responsible and maybe ask some questions like, who is this guy hanging out with? The
That
dad's
dad-
so thrilled he has a job.
Yeah, the dad's so happy he's making an honest buck, or
Honest
a
buck.
dishonest buck in this case.
I mean, I'm serious. I'm not to take it into a dark place here, but I think that the dad should have been questioning this. He's like, oh, I never met this Mr. Macintosh. Have you? No, I never met him. I thought you met him. Like, don't you think they should do something? Like,
So-
vet this guy out?
I don't know. So based on the money, let's go back to the money thing for just a second before we wrap up and go somewhere else. Do you think? I mean, this is the question that you have to ask. You play this question on the schoolyard after you watch this movie. could you have spent $1 million in a week as a kid? Could you possibly spend that much money, you yourself? I'm not saying it can't be done, but would you yourself have been able to spend that kind of cash in 1 week?
I mean, $1 million. I mean, the lady says at one point, right? It's $1 million isn't a lot these days.
Not what it used to be.
I think it kind of was though, because
it was.
I don't know if I would have. That's the thing. I don't think the kid's so bad with his money. He does blow it, but he knew project management skills. He got all these trucks in here. He was walking around with a clipboard and a headset.
Pretty good with.
He was directing.
Yeah, he was pretty.
Kid has a future.
Kid has a future.
The kid has a future.
Project planner.
But no, I don't think that I could have spent $1 million. Maybe I could have.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would have bought like a couple like boxes, a box of baseball cards.
I would get a couple. I would get Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo.
Yeah. I probably spent a couple $1,000s worth of video games. And like I probably would have spent like $100,000 and thought like I would have been exhausted. Like I don't think I would have been able to go to that level, man.
Yeah,
like, the kid, I wouldn't have thought to buy a house.
I mean, the house was probably the biggest purchase, but not really. There's a lot of crap on this list.
Yeah.
So to take it down the other thread that we have going in here, we have this other thing before we talk about violations, right? There's this FBI agent subplot.
This is the biggest part of the movie that we need to get into right now. So we got this FBI agent who's undercover who worked at the bank where the $1 million was given, right?
Shay.
Her name is Shay.
Shay
Her name is
Stanley.
Shay?
Shay Stanley.
Yeah. She looks like a Charlie to me.
Charlie?
She should have been named Charlie.
She had that 90s like bob cut.
Kind of had like a Nev Campbell thing going on.
Yeah, she did.
Right?
I thought she was...
She was the goon from Dumb and Dumber.
I didn't realize that until I looked it up later.
Yeah, I knew. I recognized from somewhere. I couldn't call
because
it.
the guy's heart pills.
And then we said it, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's working undercover. She's looking for clues for money laundering. Obviously, she's sniffing around the right place, but she's not quite sure what's going on. Who's got this money? There's money moving. Got to figure out how, figure out where, figure out why. So try to refresh my memory. I mean, we watched it only like 3 days ago, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember how she came into contact with Preston other than him opening up a bank account.
She was running at night, I think, and he drives by in the limo after his shopping spree, and she has a conversation with him about, oh yeah, I'm working for this guy Macintosh,
this millionaire, right? Macintosh,
and the red flag goes up because she thinks that Macintosh might be the person laundering this money.
I've never heard of this Macintosh. He must be new in town. He's got big money. He just bought this castle. I should go over there and check this place out.
Yeah. So the alarm goes up.
Yeah. She as a seasoned FBI agent as she is, Charlie, aka Shay.
Shay Stanley.
She's Charlie. Come on.
Charlie Stanley.
Yeah. What's her real name?
Karen Duffy.
Karen Duffy. That's such a 90s name.
Speaking of which, the IMDb page for this, the kid who plays Preston, we didn't talk about this at all. Yeah. I think he was probably one of the best actors of all the child actors that we've had on this.
He was not annoying. Yes, go on.
He was great. The picture for this kid is so adorable. It's like, I just want to give him a hug. I just want to give the kid a hug. Like, he's so, like, it's an adorable child actor picture.
So he stole $1 million. How could you stay mad at him?
Yeah, like, he has overalls in the picture, like Oshkosh Bagosh. He's he's just like a little cutie
little guy. He's just a little guy.
Yeah. But now he looks like I'm pretty sure a villain. He grew into the villain scale. He could be the villain in the new movie. He has like a neck tattoo and all this stuff.
He quit acting, I would assume.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, So her name is Karen Duffy.
Karen Duffy. All right, so she wanders over there because the kid mentions that, I got some money I'm going to put into my account, but he never makes it over there because he's busy, working for Macintosh. So she just wanders on over to the castle, being a nosy cop that she is. Hey, where's Macintosh? Where's Macintosh? I want to talk to him. This guy seems like a pretty big player. I want to see if he wants to open up an account. And Preston totally got the hots for Shay.
I mean, didn't you?
Everyone did.
I did.
Everyone did.
Everyone did.
Yeah, come on. So the kid smoothly goes, hey, guess what? He's not available, but I'm available. I handle all of his finances.
Yeah.
Very believable he handles the finances. Let's go out to dinner. Me and you one-on-one. I'll pick you up at 8. I got a limo.
She says it's a date.
It's a date. How could you say no? The kid's got a limo, man. Money talks, right?
Money talks.
So, anyway, long story short, I know I've said long story short like 50 times in this episode.
Okay. It's short.
They go out to this fancy restaurant. Now, Drew, I'm going to cut right to the bullshit, right?
Yeah,
past the bullshit and ask you the serious question I'm having. How appropriate is it that this woman is out on a date with this kid?
Highly inappropriate.
Highly inna, right?
Inna.
It's inna.
That's how appropriate it is.
Yeah.
It's inna.
Yeah. So, explain the ways that this is wrong, Drew.
So first off, this kid's 11 years old.
Yeah.
And
he's not even 12 yet.
I'm not gonna and let's not sugarcoat it here, okay? Let's call a spade a spade.
Call a spade a spade.
She shows up to this date looking sexy.
She didn't have to look that sexy.
She looked
She didn't have to, but she did.
not to be like a red-blooded, what did we call that one time? A red-blooded male here.
Red-blooded male.
Not to be like, misogynist. I mean, she looked very beautiful. Excuse me. She looked
Stop
very
it. Yeah,
beautiful.
she looked good. Yeah.
Yeah. She showed up to this date
She knew what she was doing.
looking very, very, very beautiful. Like she dolled up.
She dolled up, and she knew she was going on a date with an 11-year-old. She didn't have to wear that revealing clothing.
A pantsuit would have been more appropriate.
For real though.
Like a Leslie Knope pantsuit.
Yes.
And she shows up looking hot. Let's just call it
There's
what
like
that
a
is.
slit in the skirt.
The shoulders
The
were
shoulders
showing.
are down. There's a little bit of cleave.
Yeah.
It's like, this kid doesn't have to see this.
That was like overload for this kid.
I know he's got a computer in his room, but I mean, like, he doesn't be exposed to this yet.
He take out his Polaroid camera, take a picture. It's like, no, she shows up highly inna. That's how appropriate
Yeah,
it
it's
was.
so inna.
It was ridiculous. And they go to this fancy restaurant. He doesn't even know what the hell he's doing. It's like the weirdest thing. He gives her a necklace. She says she can't accept it, but then she takes it anyway.
Yeah, why? Unbelievable.
How much do you think he spent
That's
on
evidence, by the way. That's why she took it. It's evidence.
Do we know how much he spent on that?
I think on the screenshot it said jewelry and dinner was like $900.
That's it?
So I'd like to imagine that it's probably like $700.
All right. Yeah, because the dinner was
It looked
probably
more
200.
expensive. He doesn't know what he's doing.
No, he doesn't.
he bought a piece of crap.
It's like it turns her
If he
neck
really
green.
wanted to get somewhere with her, he would have bought something with some flash.
But like, let me ask you this: what did he expect getting out of this date? Like when you're
Man.
11 years old, what
this
do you
is a
expect?
dangerous subject. I'm gonna go for it. He's 11 years old. I'm thinking back to 11-year-old me, 11-year-old you, 11-year-old every red-blooded male.
How old was she? How old was she?
30s,
30s, probably.
maybe
Okay.
maybe high 20s,
28.
28 maybe. 28's a good. She's
28
like,
to 32.
Her career's blossoming. 28 years old, right? She's one step away from that promotion that she better not screw up. Which this is a major screw up.
This is a major screw
Yeah.
up. This is absolutely.
Although she's really taking the undercover thing seriously, maybe give her credit. How far she's willing to go. I don't know.
It's like the cop from South Park.
Anyway, freeze. Anyway, when you're 11 years old as a kid, like you don't think of like the end game.
That's what I mean.
Of the date, like the home run, so to speak.
That's what
If he gets a smooch at the end of it, that's like
That's a home run
like
to
the
him.
max that he's expecting because like he doesn't even know about the other thing, right?
Is he gonna call her back? Like, what's going
Yeah.
on?
He'd be like, oh, like if he saw a bra, he'd be like,
Well, think
Whoa.
about Big.
Think about
right?
Big.
And
Yeah.
Big, he
Exactly
like,
Big.
He sees a boob for the first time.
he doesn't know what to do with it. Like, he's like, oh my god, that's amazing.
How old was he in Big? Wasn't he only 8? He was really
They
young.
were younger than he looked.
He was really young.
So that's a good reference point, actually. So that's what he was. That would have been like the max for that kid.
Yeah.
That would have been like that's like the goal. Not even the goal, but like he wants a girlfriend. It's on his list.
That's even less appropriate.
Yeah,
If that happened.
yeah. He thinks he's mature for his age, so like no girl at school will do. He wants this bank teller.
Yeah.
With the hot '90s haircut.
I mean, once you see Shay, like all those other girls in school, they're just not as
They
attractive.
don't compare.
right?
It's the whole like teacher obsession thing,
Yeah.
right? It's
People
like,
are obsessed with their teacher.
I don't want a man, I want a woman. Like, the whole Saved by the Bell thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The nurse.
Yeah, the nurse, right?
So,
yeah.
But this is highly inappropriate. But like you said, maybe she's going to get good scores because she caught the villain at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
right?
she went just to the edge, and then she backed
She
away.
came back.
She kissed him.
Violation.
She did kiss him.
And it was
Is
a kiss
that
on the
too
lips.
far? Maybe no one saw it.
No, see, okay, look. Cheek kiss, yes.
She kissed him on the lips. She did.
Lips kiss
No tongue.
to a 11-year-old kid.
Yeah.
No tongue.
No
It's
tongue.
okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. No tongue. This is highly inappropriate
Like
here.
you kiss your grandmother that way, but like they're not related, so that makes it bad.
Is your grandmother wearing that dress?
No, she's not.
I mean, come on now. Come on now.
And then she showed up at the party with something sexy too.
That's what I'm saying.
But
here.
that's a little more apropes because there's adults at this party.
So did she? Let's skip to the party, right? Because we're talking a little bit about her. It kind of relates. In order to win her over, he says, "I'm throwing this birthday bash for Mr. Macintosh. Why don't you come to my house?
Why don't you come to my guest of honor at my house, at Macintosh's birthday
'Cause
party,
he
aka his birthday
Right,
party.
because he can't keep putting it off before. Like, oh, you'll meet him later. You'll meet
Yeah.
him later.
Yeah.
He doesn't think very far ahead. He just wants to see her again. So
Yeah.
he says, oh, we're going to have a birthday party. He hires a birthday party planner, which is one of the worst mistakes he ever made because this person just was, Good thing the internet didn't exist because this
Yeah.
person would have 0-star reviews.
It's like a broke ass Lisa Turtle.
Yeah, basically it was
Yeah.
Lisa Turtle. She was awful, and she just wanted the money from him.
Yeah.
It's a $10,000 deposit, as we said earlier. Winds up being $100,000. But this is where everything gets figured out. Who the hell was invited to this party?
All these people show
He
up.
didn't even have any friends. So
Yeah.
who came to the
let
party?
alone adults. I guess they're just like VIPs, man. It's part of the job of the party planner to fill the party. And if she doesn't get a guest list, she's like, screw it. I'm gonna fill this myself. I'm not gonna be sitting here with nobody at my party. If the party's bad, it reflects poorly on the party planner.
But was it the town? I mean, shouldn't the town have asked questions about who is this guy? And I guess maybe that's the intrigue. They went to the party for that.
Hey, the hot name, like it's pre-internet, you know. Nobody knows who Macintosh is. There's whispers around town that this hot guy Macintosh is in town. He's an eligible bachelor, you know.
Nobody knows anything about him.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, whisper down the alley. Things like rumors get started. You know, who knows what Macintosh is up to? He's a very mysterious, powerful figure. So you got to go down there and see what it's all about. Then you got the party planner who has these like rich, you know, just people that their job is to go to events.
Yeah.
And those are the types
Professional
of people that are
partygoers.
professional partygoers. And these are the people that show up. The person has no idea who they are. He ends up spending $100,000 on this party that he
Foolishly.
didn't ask for. Like he asked for it, but he didn't really give any I don't blame the party planner, by the way.
I do.
She got zero direction because Preston was like, oh.
He was
like,
playing VR games.
Yeah, he was doing the little kid thing. He was like, oh, do work. It's the thing that he got yelled at by his dad, not Ed Harris.
Yeah, not Ed.
What's his name? Reibold?
James Reborn. R.I.P. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Don't make it a nightmare.
Yeah, R.I.P. Not Ed Harris. Yeah.
Is it really the responsibility of the limo driver to maybe tell this kid, hey, rein it in a little bit? Like, come on.
No, because remember, only Preston knows how much money he has, right? He's got started with $1 million and it's dropping rapidly, right?
It's in free fall.
So everyone around who thinks Macintosh is real assumes Macintosh has an endless supply. He's a millionaire, plural millions, right?
Like multi-millionaire.
Multi-millions, right? So they're not questioning the wealth of Macintosh.
I think that maybe the limo driver should have seen the signs, and maybe if he was more of a friend, maybe he wasn't. He
Yeah.
would have told him like, hey, I don't really think this is going to work out with you and this lady. Like, imagine you're a limo driver. Let's make it modern times. You're an Uber driver, right? You're driving an Uber, and some kid's telling you how he's going to hang out with this 32-year-old FBI agent or bank teller, whatever the hell.
That just hit me just how like for the
Ridiculous.
last 50 minutes we've been talking about this movie like it's real. And it's just I just had this self-realization.
You woke up in the dream.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah. Like there was a point in time in this conversation where it's like it's real to me, damn it. It's real to me. I can't. And I just woke up.
Like, oh yeah, it was fake.
Yeah.
It didn't really happen.
I want it to be real.
You mean you didn't know this wasn't
Let's
a
go back.
documentary?
Let's go back to when it was real. All right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
put yourself in this limo driver's shoes. Like, shouldn't you maybe help this kid out and say, don't think she's into you, dude?
Yeah.
Like,
That's not his job.
yeah, but
His
come
job
on.
is to be the buddy, the yes man.
This kid is going to get his dreams crushed.
Hey, you
And
gotta
I'd
learn.
rather help him out.
You gotta learn sometime.
I'd rather help
It
him
was
out.
never gonna work with the 30-year-old FBI agent. At least not for the next 8 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. So at the party, let's skip to the end here. At the party, things kind of blow over. It's revealed that there is no Macintosh. He's out of money completely because he can't pay these people. His dad shows up, has a heartfelt conversation with the shadow of Macintosh in the back.
Just as Preston realizes he's broke now.
He's absolutely broke.
Dead broke.
We have the screenshot.
Yeah.
He's so broke.
Can't pay for the party. He's got $300 left. He owes $100,000.
He could sell the house.
What is that? Is he $99,700 in the hole?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he could sell the house though, right?
Could sell the house.
If he sold the house, but Quigley shows up with his goons after we didn't even mention it. The race that they had at the park, he was chasing a little kid.
Oh yeah, we just blew by the part where they just like they're looking to abduct a 12-year-old kid
child.
in the middle of the park.
They're driving their car
Yeah.
on the grass.
Yeah.
It's kind of awesome, actually.
It was like Die Hard 3. It really was. Like the car was going through the park and there was a bomb.
they show
Right.
up, and it's kind of like what you said in the beginning of the show and what all the reviewers said. It's kind of like a ripoff of Home Alone, but it's
Yeah.
not.
Well, yeah.
It's not.
So when the party clears, Quigley and his goons show up. and they do a Home Alone-esque like chase through the house where he gets a little booby trap action going. The kid's like joking around like his life isn't in danger, and they do that for like 5-10 minutes, a little longer than I liked. Like I wasn't all about the chase scenes.
Yeah,
to be honest.
It wasn't really that entertaining.
No.
I'd rather see him spend the money.
Yeah, I want to see him spend the money and have dates.
One of the most dangerous things that happened was he put Quigley in that gyroscope ball and threw him in a pool.
Yeah.
Locked in a metal ball.
No, the best was when Quigley was like face down in the pool, looked like he was dead.
Surprise!
And then Preston goes up to him and like, I don't know, to check his pulse or something.
He should have just ran away.
And then he just obviously gets grabbed.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
And then Shay shows up,
Shay
saves
shows up,
the day.
FBI shows up, freeze, you're under arrest.
Yeah. Quigley says he's Macintosh.
Yeah, he takes the, hey, I'm Macintosh. That's right. This is my house. Get off my property.
Good or bad move?
It was worth a shot. I am Macintosh. Get off my property. It was a pretty good shot.
It's a losing effort right there.
Well, once he gets booked, they're going to realize he's not Macintosh. He is Quigley, the escaped prisoner.
I still don't understand how this guy's like out in the wild.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
It's a total Dom Toretto thing where he's just out in the open.
So the question, I guess, around this arrest, right? They all get arrested, but did Preston actually do anything illegal throughout this process? Because they named the charges for Mr. Macintosh. You are under arrest for X, Y, and Z. I can't even remember what the hell they are. It was like impersonation, fraud, money laundering, abduction of child, whatever it is,
Jaywalking.
Right? Jaywalking, murder in the third degree, whatever it was.
Regicide. All that stuff. All that stuff. Yeah.
Whatever it is. Do you think that Quigley's going down for this, or is he getting a good lawyer?
No, he's totally going down. If he had a good lawyer, he would have been in jail for money laundering in the first place. Like, come on, money laundering? You get off of that. That's like you reduce that down, You
do community service.
Yeah, you do community service for that.
do community service.
He's a bad lawyer.
He does.
He's not a very good criminal, is he?
No, he's terrible.
He's not a good criminal.
So I just want to know, like, what's going to happen to Preston after this? He agrees to go on a date with Shay, and I think they compromise on 6 years.
6 years.
So
like he negotiated down. She said 10. He said 6.
He's still going to be what, 15? Oh no, he's 12.
He'll be 18 in 6 years.
He'll be 18. Yeah. All right, I guess it's legal then.
So in the movie world, nothing happens, right? All he washes his hands. Hey, I was an employee. I was just doing what I was told. I didn't know this guy was up to illegal stuff. I had no idea. This is Macintosh, as far as I do, right? So, you ride off to the sunset. Everybody learns a good lesson, and we move on. But did we or did we not uncover a huge plot hole, question mark, Easter egg?
Oh my God, dude.
In this movie that I'm afraid many people don't know about.
This is 20 plus years later, and I think we uncovered the bombshell.
So true. So before we uncover the bombshell, can we go back in time?
Yes.
To like the first 20 minutes of the movie or so, half hour? After Preston gets his money and reveals to his parents he has a part-time job working for Macintosh, the father's very interested. And Preston tells his dad, hey, listen, if you don't want me working for this guy, that's fine. But I was going to tell him to look at your investment for you.
Plan 443.
So plan 442.
442.
443 is the sequel.
442, excuse me.
So the father has this plan 442, like a business plan. They don't say exactly what it is.
Prospectus.
It's a prospectus, right? So Preston says, I'll have Macintosh look at it for you. Maybe we can invest in it. So his dad perks up. He's all for it. He gets the prospectus, gives it to Preston. We don't hear anything of it the rest of the movie.
Exactly.
But when we capture the screenshot of the expenses that Preston has gone through to show that he's flat broke, right smack down in the middle of the screen, and we will post this. It might even be the screenshot for our episode.
Yes.
It shows a $300,000 expense tied to Plan 442.
Bombshell.
So Drew, all this money's gone, right? Spent $1 million. Where's that $300K, Drew?
Yeah, his dad got it.
His dad got $300,000 of this dollar.
This kid's an expert in money of this dollar.
Of this dollar.
This kid's an expert in money laundering already.
He laundered that money straight to Plan 442. So now, whatever that stupid business is, that I'm sure what
his dad might blow it.
Yeah, where's his dad work? Is he in computers?
It's the 90s, so he's in computers.
They're all in computers. All these dads are in computers.
How do you think he got the Macintosh?
So Plan 442, as dumb as this, whatever this project is, has $300,000 of Quigley's money. This dirty, filthy, stinking money.
They laundered it though.
They laundered it.
It's clean.
So is it free and clear? Are they like? Is there a paper trail to this, Drew?
No. See, here's what's going to happen. getting back to Plan 442, they're going to be looking at these expenses in the court trial when they take this guy
they
to
definitely
trial.
are.
Who's a witness?
We got TVs,
Preston.
we got sumo rings, we got Coca-Cola.
That's what I'm saying, man. There's plenty of receipts.
Yeah.
They can track this back.
So maybe Quigley is innocent.
He's definitely going to be
Well, he's
innocent.
definitely going back to jail for escaping jail. Like
Right.
that's the one thing, right?
But he didn't do anything with his money.
Well, and the attempted murder and the regicide and the jaywalking.
Matricide.
Yeah.
No, but he didn't do anything with this. He didn't make the purchases,
True.
right? Who, as far as anyone knows, who's the witness to say that he even had that money?
It's true.
It went straight to Preston.
Preston found it in a warehouse.
Preston found it.
Is that a crime?
No.
Not really.
But how did it get there? And they were marked bills.
They were marked
So the
bills.
banker's going to jail.
So Preston laundered the money.
Yes.
Quigley could throw his hands up and say, "Hey, I don't know what you're talking
I'm the
about."
Macintosh.
The bank teller would be like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
He's like, I almost drowned in a pool. That's why I was
Yeah,
Macintosh.
there's no check. It was burned.
His dad's going to jail too, and they're taking hand and foot too with them.
Foot. That's where they're hiding the funds.
They're taking
Yeah.
hand and foot with them. How many
That's a
odd
front.
jobs?
Hand and foot is a front for Project 442.
How many odd jobs are they going to do with this?
We're not making this up. I mean, $300,000 is right there on the screenshot.
Yeah,
Play
you can
it, Project
see it.
442.
You can see it.
They invested. That money's not disappeared.
His dad invested.
And it's not a real, it's not public yet. So that money is securely in the
Dude.
possession of not Ed Harris.
Yeah, and did he write him a check or did he give him the
I
cash?
don't know, man.
What the hell happened?
I have questions.
I'm
I'm afraid they're not going to be answered.
has anybody asked this question in the 20 plus
I don't
years?
know.
this
And
movie's
if you
been out?
guys, listeners, if you have any ideas as to what Project 442 is, and is it illegal? Is Preston and more importantly, his father going to jail for this? Is he going down?
Oh,
because-
he's definitely going down.
Yeah. I'm exhausted, Drew.
Good thing we're done.
We've been through a lot.
We got a couple things left.
I feel like
but
this is an action-packed episode.
Man, this was fun. It was a fun return.
I'm losing my voice.
Me too.
I was pumped. I'm excited. I'm tired. It's almost
You're
midnight.
spent.
It's midnight on a school night.
It's like 2 a.m. right now.
Yeah.
We record this after midnight.
But we got more to do. I mean, we got to wrap this
Just
up.
a little bit.
I mean, we have some burning questions, right? Scour the internet. I mean, we had a great idea to answer some questions from IMDb that we did on our Point Break episode. Come to find out that they just canceled IMDb's forums, which is just a travesty on
heartbreaking
more than one
moment.
level. So we scour the internet, see people chattering about blank check, forums, random forums. We got some burning questions. I thought we could answer them, right? I mean, we already answered so many questions, and there are so many questions still unanswered, such as Project 442. But
It's so cryptic.
such a cryptic.
It's so cryptic.
Man, those Waters is
Waters.
the Waters, depending on where you're from.
Wooders.
The Wooders, yeah,
Preston Wooders.
Preston Waters. So, burning question number
It's 2
one.
a.m. right
Let's try to get this in under 2 hours, Drew. They're gone. They checked out when I made the butt joke during the plot synopsis. So we got nobody left listening.
I'm like delirious right now.
Did the kid or did the father learn their lesson with money when all
Hell
is said
no.
and done? No, as we just stated,
No way.
they still have $300,000 to answer for. And the father might get accidentally roped into a trial that he had no idea he's going to. This Preston jerk, man. I swear to God. I think the kid learned the lesson a bit to where, don't value money so seriously. Use your childhood. You're not supposed to have $1 million when you're 11. I think that's the lesson he learned. And the dad learned to, maybe give the kid a break a little bit.
That's the most important lesson.
Throw the kid $20 when he's got a birthday party to go
That's
to.
what I mean. He's
know?
not going to, and teach him how to spend it
Yeah.
properly.
I think they both learned that.
I agree.
And this father will have lots of time in the Indiana State Penitentiary to think about it.
Hanging out with Quigley.
Yeah. Question 2. What was Preston's smartest purchase
I know
throughout
this.
the movie?
I know it.
What
I
is
already knew it from day
See
one.
if we're all on the same page here. Go right ahead.
The limo driver.
No!
Yeah.
Well, it was a smart purchase.
Because he hung out with him
got a
all
friend.
the time. He
He
got a
basically
friend.
bought a
He
friend.
had a fun time.
You could buy friends that'll do a lot more for
But
you.
it was
for a
also-
lot less money than $100,000.
but it was
Drew.
cheap though. If we're saying call it $15K.
Yeah.
I thought the limo
He
driver
tried
was
to
the best
take
purchase.
Shay on a date. He tried to speed. There's a lot quicker ways to get dates.
He's 11. He doesn't
He's
know.
got money.
The internet doesn't exist.
It's true.
What is it? What's yours?
The best purchase clearly was the slide from his office
Yeah,
to
that
the
was pretty
pool,
awesome.
Such a great idea.
Pretty awesome.
So good.
It was a good slide too. It wasn't like one of those crappy ones.
It was a great slide.
It had water in the tube.
Oh yeah.
Like feeding it.
What was the dumbest purchase?
The VR set.
Yeah.
It was like $30,000.
It was pretty bad.
For like what did we say? 18 TVs or something?
36.
Okay.
34,
I guess that's a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
But it was $30,000 for like, I don't even know what the heck. It was like Virtual Boy.
Yeah. And plus I know like it's projecting a big screen, but all those lines in between, like there are a lot of like separate box TVs. It's like, I don't want to watch that
But
shit.
he was like looking at it on his eye thing. Like I felt like you can get a freaking Galaxy VR right now for like $100. This thing, you talk about inflation, reverse inflation. It's like that thing was garbage.
Yeah.
Those things at the mall, you ever do that back in the 90s?
Yeah, it was
It's
trash.
garbage.
I actually worked for a company for a couple of days. I quit.
You go
Yeah,
we need to have
it's true.
we need to have another episode where
That's
we do
for
that.
another time. We've spent too much time.
I can't wait to talk about that someday.
I agree, though. I agree. The VR was pretty lame, and I think on the screenshot it was like 30 grand.
Was it worth that?
It's
Hell
like
no.
36 grand. Get out
No
of here.
way.
And lastly, I mean, this is random. It was random stuff. Did Quigley murder those old people that he tried to buy the house from?
Yes.
He did threaten them.
He didn't do it, but maybe Tone Loc did.
Maybe Tone Loc. Tone Loc
He
does
had
the
Juice
dirty
do
work.
it.
Yeah.
He had Juice
And
do
by the
it.
way, Juice is the type of guy, he'll never get arrested.
Right.
Like, he'll get away.
He's slippery.
He'll slink away. Yeah.
He's slippery, like the Wet Bandits.
Oh, yeah. So, like, I'd like to think that, you know, after he lost the house to Macintosh, you know, maybe he's got a little angry. He sent Juice to, like, take care of some dirty work. But no, I say no because he's not that type of guy. He's not a murderer. He's very white collar. He tries. He's a wannabe.
Yeah.
He's a wannabe murderer.
He's like the Wet Bandits.
He's nothing tough.
He's Harry and Marv.
Yeah, he's
right?
nothing tough.
I guess that is the equivalent. Like we keep talking about Home Alone.
You put a cigar in your mouth and you raise your voice a little bit. Doesn't make you tough. All right.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Quigley. So that's about it for Blank Check. I mean, do you want to send us home? What do we got? Any emails?
We got a couple emails here, and we got a new iTunes revision. But I just want to give a shout out to Lee. We have two awesome listeners named Lee. There's Lee from the UK, and there's Lee from the US.
We got stateside Lee, and we got UK Lee.
We're gonna call this Lee stateside Lee. So it was an awesome surprise to get this email, and I got to tell you, it was right before we posted our Point Break episode, or right after, and we got a comment and then an email of what Lee was gonna write.
Yeah.
So I want to quickly read through this because I just want to give a shout out to stateside Lee. I'm assuming Lee is stateside. It says, it was like this morning when I woke up and saw that you guys are reviewing Point Break this week. Not Home Alone Christmas when your parents forget about you, but Christmas when you get the original Optimus Prime toy. That's a great Christmas. Point Break is one of my favorite movies of all time. I drafted this email and comment yesterday, but I forgot to send it. I thought it was awesome that you read my mind and reviewed my movie request before I even asked. You guys really do appreciate your fans. We really do. We actually do. So I'm just going to read through this real quick because, like I said, Lee, thank you for putting this together. He says, hey, Drew and Badway, I love your podcast. My brother and I, Pinner, not Piner, that's a lesson for you, Badway, are huge fans.
Still Piner to me.
I just listened to your San Andreas episode number 35. I know I'm behind, but I'll get there. Since I have two young kids that participate in every sport or activity you can think of, I don't have much time to watch movies that don't involve Disney characters and or PG ratings. These are entertaining movies, but I really enjoy action and thriller movies. You guys are bringing back my late teens and early 20s with all your reviews. Of course, I had time to watch movies back then. I was wondering if you thought about reviewing the movie Point Break, the original, of course. Effing Johnny Utah. Saw that it got a 68% on the website that we do not talk about, although we're allowed to talk about it now, Badway?
Yeah.
I knew this may be too high for your very low standards, according to high qualified internet critics. I too enjoy movies that entertain, not to get Oscar nominations. Just think about it. Other options may be Stir of Echoes or Fallen if you want to do a thriller. Keep up the great work. The best and funniest podcast out there. Thanks. Go Ducks, Lee. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, Lee. So he kind of like foreshadowed. He foretold our Point Break episode.
Yeah.
So we're all on the same page.
Yeah, man.
Stateside Lee. And then Lee also left us an iTunes review stating, Piner 02002.
You're not going to let it go. It's 3 a.m. now.
Pitter. I am not your robot, but I am brother to Pitter 01001. Love your podcast. Bringing bros together across the world. Funniest podcast out there, period. My dog, Riggins, yes, named after the one and only, loves your podcast. He says that fire does help break down structural integrity of bricks. Canine scienced. I mean, Randy Cellini, he didn't know that secret, but Barry did. He is now sleeping after attentively listening to your podcast. Or maybe he's just passed out. He is a Riggins after all. Well, it's lunchtime, Utah. Give me two.
First
robot,
off,
out.
that's amazing that his dog's named Riggins.
Yeah.
That's a great name for a dog. It's so good.
Great.
So I just want to commend Lee on that. But yeah, thanks for writing in. If you guys want to write in, our website, thelastrowpodcast.com, there's a contact form. Our email is thelastrowpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks to everybody that sent us emails. We try to write back to everybody that writes in. Twitter @thelastRowPod, Facebook.com/thelastRowPod. We have an Instagram page, Snapchat, Google+, whatever. Most importantly, leave us an iTunes review. We'll read it on the air. Thank you to everybody that's taken a couple minutes out of your day to write that for us. We can't say thank you enough, and hopefully we get some more. We're a couple away from this JCVD split. I don't know, your back's kind of messed up, man.
Yeah, man, I'll still do it. I'm a gamer.
Yeah.
I'll play hurt.
So we'll be back. We'll try to be more consistent here. Thank you to everybody for listening to our craziness this week.
This is nuts.
Hopefully, you got through the whole part and you're hearing this part. But we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, man. So I wish there was a bonus scene where Shay gets back to the FBI office and she just gets berated by the angry her angry boss.
Yeah.
Just saying, what the hell are you doing?
Like the guy from Point Break.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Wouldn't you get fired for that?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's ballsy to go do this, but you should get probably fired for taking an 11-year-old out on a date. And maybe she even spent money on it too.
She knows the law.